Back in the early 90s, after the popularity of DuckTales, Disney decided to create another cartoon series called Darkwing Duck. Now this series stars a guy named Drake Mallard, who is an average duck by day, but by night would wear a mask and a cape and go out fighting crime. Now Darkwing Duck was sidekicked by Launchpad, also from the DuckTales series. Now it's no surprise that this show would get popular, and due to its popularity, it's also no surprise that Capcom would pick up the license. Capcom, who was known by this point as creating great licensed Disney games, would step up to the plate and create a great platformer for the NES. Darkwing Duck the game would hit the NES come 1992 and would feature a platformer similar to that of Mega Man. You run, you shoot, you collect special abilities, but there is a key difference between Mega Man and Darkwing Duck. First off, Darkwing Duck can grab onto ledges. This adds a whole new factor of platforming that simply wasn't in Mega Man. For example, you would have to grab onto certain ledges or hooks, or levers, and all of a sudden you would have platforms appear or ladders come down that would allow you to jump to different areas. In fact, there is a lot of platforming segments that are solely based on your ability to hang on to ledges. Darkwing Duck and Mega Man are also different because Darkwing Duck can also block using the up button. Darkwing will lift his cape and then block some projectiles. Others, however, will still hurt him. When you start the game, Jay Ganderhooter will let you know that there's a huge crime wave attacking St. Canard due to the organization known as FOUL, the fiendish organization for world larceny. After you're briefed on your situation, Launchpad will take you through a map screen allowing you to choose which level you'd like to play. At first you're only allowed to play 3 levels, but after you beat those 3 levels you can move on to another set of 3 levels. When you choose the level you want to play, Launchpad will describe what's going on in the level, such as who's the villain and where it's located. To choose a level, simply press A, and then Launchpad will ask you to confirm whether or not you want to play that level. To actually choose the level, you press A, and to leave the level, you press B. The gameplay isn't too complex, and controlling is rather simple. You just move with the D-pad, you jump with A, you shoot with B. When you want to grab onto a ledge, all you need to do is jump toward it and it will automatically grab it by itself. While on a ledge, if you want to jump to another ledge, just press A, or if you want to go down toward another platform, just press the down button. There are 7 levels in the game altogether, 6 regular levels, and then a final level. You have a lot of reoccurring villains from the actual series who make it into the game, such as Quackerjack, Liquidator, Megavolt, Bushroot, Moriarty, and the final boss is Steelbeak. The only boss in the game who actually isn't from the show is Wolfduck. While there are 7 levels in the game, not all of them are exactly unique. For example, Quackerjack stage and Moriarty stage are pretty much kind of the same. They both take place in a big city. The only difference is Moriarty stage is a lot more vertical going than Quackerjack's. That being said though, there is some nice level design. For example, Bushroot stage is a nice forest, you have a lot of weird enemies in Megavolt stage, you have a sewer level for Liquidator, a lot of good stages. However, I wish there was a little more variety. Throughout the game you'll come across various power-ups. These power-ups will allow you to change your gun to different attacks. While normally you have an infinite amount of ammo for your normal attack, these various attacks will require ammo that you need to pick up through gas containers. The various weapons you find will come in handy for killing certain enemies who are hard to reach, or even for killing certain bosses who follow certain patterns. Also throughout the game you can find bonus rooms. These bonus rooms are labeled when you see a go sign. To get to the bonus room, you jump into the go sign, then all of a sudden Jay Ganderhooter will come out and say that they found all these random treasures. What you need to do is you'll see these capsules falling from the sky, and you have to shoot the capsules open and grab the treasures before the time runs out. You can find things that increase your score, as well as things such as extra lives, and all other kinds of goodies. Not only can you leave this by letting the time run out, but if you also fall into the hole, you'll also go back to the actual level. Unfortunately though, it takes you back to the last checkpoint rather than to where you actually found the bonus stage in the first place. The difficulty of the game varies depending on what level you're playing. A lot of the levels are pretty easy, however some levels are frustratingly difficult. The boss fights are also the same way. Some are very easy, others are very, very annoying. Two that come to mind right off the top of my head are the fight with Moriarty and the final fight with Steelbeak. There are really two reasons why the game would seem kinda difficult to you. One is you only have 4 hits throughout the entire game. That means 4 hits and you die. The other is, you don't have much of an invincibility time once you get hit, and enemies can really rack up hits on you and kill you pretty quick. The hit detection can be a little wonky as well. There were times where it says I got hit, but if you actually look, I clearly didn't. Visually speaking, you can tell right off the bat that this game was made by Capcom. It looks almost like it would be a Mega Man game with Darkwing Duck characters, which is essentially what it is. I really love this game's soundtrack though. While a lot of the 8-bit stuff that Capcom does sound like it would be fit more for a rock-type style, this has a lot more of a jazz feel, and you can really tell that they were inspired by jazz music when they made this soundtrack. Some of the songs I really like in this game include Wolf Duck Stage as well as Bush Roots. While this game does have its flaws, that doesn't necessarily stop it from being a great game. Yeah, there is a little bit of a wonky hit detection, and yeah, the difficulty can seem a little unfair at times, but it's still a great, fun game that's really worth a pickup. Overall, I'm going to give this game a 4-star rating. It's not a bad game whatsoever, and I really think it's worth a pickup, especially if you were a fan of the original cartoon series. Well, that's been my review of Darkwing Duck for the NES. I'm IronFury, and take care.